Little Chronicle of the Community and Fortified Church of Christian. According to Dr. Egbert Schlarb, guest pastor in Christian, and lecturer at the Theological Institute of the Evangelical Church in Hermannstadt between 1995 and 1999, the founding of Christian belongs to the first wave of German settlers who were called to Transylvania by King Geza II between 1141 and 1161 to protect the crown. It is located 10 kilometers west of Hermannstadt, upstream along the Zibin River. Therefore, it is also part of the so-called Old Land. The first documentary mentions dates back to the year 1223, stating Insula Cristiana, meaning Christian Island or Christian Meadow. In the 13th century, a three-nave Romanesque basilica was built and dedicated to Saint Servatius. Saint Servatius is one of the ice saints, specifically honored on May 13th. He died in 384 in Maastricht and played a significant role in spreading Christianity in the Netherlands. Preserved from this church are the lower parts of the bell tower, remnants of the two aisles next to the tower, and a column capital inside the church. At the end of the 15th century, the Romanesque basilica was converted into a late Gothic three-nave hall church. After Christian was burned by the Ottomans in 1493, double walls in the form of an irregular pentagon were built around the church for protection in 1500, with square defensive towers at each corner. Around 1550, two forecourts were added to the north of the fortified church. In the first one, the parsonage was built, which also contains the preserved pest pulpits. In 1553, the community was devastated by cholera and the plague. 4 more epidemics followed between 1706 and 1755. Around 1580, a large octagonal tower was built on the south of the castle complex, on top of older foundations. This tower most likely served as a chapel for some time. In 1599, the Wallachian prince Mihai Viteazul captured the fortified church and killed Pastor Heinsius in the sacristy. In 1658, Christian was burned by the Tatars. In 1690, a national assembly was held in the fortified church, proclaiming Tukali Imre as Prince of Transylvania. Following the epidemics and consequences of wars, by 1730, only 63 of the original 167 farms in Christian were inhabited. Part of the ring wall surrounding the church was also rebuilt, with Christ's head as a keystone set into the southern wall. The now deserted church also started being restored. Between 1735 and 1738, about 160 emigrants who had to leave Austria due to the Counter-Reformation settled in Christian. Others went to Tournishore, Cisnadia, and Apoldu de Sus. These people came from Salzkammergut, mainly from Hallstatt, Ischl, Großau, Laben, and Goisern. Between 1752 and 1756, more emigrants from the Upper Austrian Landel came to the village. They were called landlers. Around 1750, the western gate and access tower fell victim to the floods of the Zibin River. A new entrance and castle keeper's residence were built in the south. Large parts of the second ring wall were removed. In 1775, the church received an organ built by Johannes Hahn, which was later repaired and adapted to the taste of the times. The renewed organ has retained its old Baroque sound today and has become a work of noble individuality, serving sophisticated organ art. In 1794, galleries were added to the choir, with their wooden walls painted with folk art motifs. In 1805, the earthquake-damaged church tower was raised and provided with 4 corner turrets. In 1891, Christian was struck by a great fire. From 1914 to 1919, 52 male residents fell victim to the First World War. In the Second World War, 64 male residents died as soldiers, and 50 military personnel went missing. On January 13, 1945, 348 members of the Saxon community from Christian were deported to the Soviet Union, of whom 51 died there or en route. Some did not return until 1952. Due to the agrarian reform in 1945, there was land expropriation and expulsion from both homes and land. The German-speaking population lost citizenship and the right to vote. 98% of the agricultural property was transferred to state ownership. From 1974, the emigration of the German population from Transylvania had begun. Of the former 2,640 Transylvanian Saxons and Christian, 1,871 had emigrated by 1989, and by 1996, only about 70 remained. In 1990 alone, after the Revolution, 1,217 had left for Germany or Austria.